Today I'm offering you a extra bonus reel because this week has been so chaotic and has become so dangerous. It's time that some things are said that need to be said. I'm Mark Carter Pierce. I am the 2028 U.S. Senate candidate from the great state of Pennsylvania. I'm an independent candidate, and this is the bonus reel. Yes, this week has been a very upsetting and troubling week. Aside from the natural responses that we have to the 9/11 tragedy, as a cadet, after 9/11, I was part of the search and rescue team, or the search and recovery team at that point. Um, it was a horrific scene. The smells were horrific, but we had a job to do. But the thing was that our country came together in such a way that was never seen before. We united as one. There were no blacks, there were no whites, there were no Latinos, there were no Asians, there were no people from the North, people from the South, there were no Democrats or Republicans, there were no men or women. Everybody was an American at that time. It's a damn shame how it took a tragedy for us to come together in such magnitude. But then there are the other things that happened this week. There was another shooting, another school shooting in Evergreen, Colorado. I used to live both in Commerce City and in Lakewood, Colorado, which is right next door to Evergreen. I'm familiar with the turf. A very quiet area. It's one of the Denver suburbs. It's in the metro Denver area. But Evergreen is a very quiet area. And then this happened. And then, of course, there was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So let me be clear. Let me be as clear as I possibly can, especially for you folks in the back. We have a First Amendment right to free speech. A First Amendment right to free speech. But it does have limits. There was a famous Supreme Court case, one of the first ones, from back in the early 1900s that happened in the state of New York. And the result of that was that no, free speech has its limit in terms of, like, you cannot go into a movie theater and yell fire when there's no fire, right? You can't just go ahead and do what you want at the expense of other people. You have to be careful about your free speech. Some things are meant to be said publicly, and some things keep it in your circle, and some things keep it to your damn self. That's the fact of the matter here. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Learn decorum. Learn when it's okay to talk. Or shut up. But here's what I want to get to. This is where I want to get to. In the public forum, yes, there is everybody has the right to an opinion, as I do, as you do. That's free speech. And never should an argument or disagreement of words, and especially of things that you really can't control. Do you really think that you're going to change the political attitude in this country with just your words? Did you think that taking Charlie Kirk out was going to end the MAGA movement? Not quite. My point here is very simple. You can't respond to words with bullets. It just doesn't work. You can't respond to words with bullets. No one has the right, and if for you Second Amendment aficionados, go and read the fucking amendment. Not the first 13 words, the last 14. Go and read that. No one has the right to take another life, in the exception of defending yourself, your property, or your family. Other than that, you don't go around killing people. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're not defending anybody by killing Charlie Kirk. But hold on, there's more. There's more. Because I want to make a point about this before I get to where I really need to get to. Charlie Kirk was no angel either. Charlie Kirk was making money off of this persona of his, off of speaking his mind and his views. He made money from it. But at what cost? His xenophobic, misogynistic, racist views. Yes, I said all three of those things. You want to blame everything on transgenders. You want to say that black women aren't smart enough to fly planes, or black people don't have the creativity or the culture, or maybe you want to say that black people are all savages. That's such a racist, bigoted bunch of bullshit. If you knew your history, you're 31 years old, so you don't really know shit yet. But if you knew your history, it was foreigners that built this country. It was black people that built this country with the sweat on their backs, because you entitled white folks wouldn't get into that hole. And yes, the Irish immigrants came here, the Italians came here, the Asians built the fucking railroads. The Irish were leaders in industry. All these people came to Ellis Island and contributed to the growth and development of this country into what it is today, which in a way is a bad thing to say. But they developed this country while you sat on your fat asses and didn't do shit but talk. So, was Charlie Kirk right? No, he should have been more responsible with what he was saying. Maybe if he had caught a beat down in the street, that's one thing, but he didn't deserve to die for it. And see, you need to, everybody needs to get off that macho horse real quick and realize, Mike Tyson was right when he said everybody's tough until they get punched in the mouth. Realize that your words can have consequences. You want to shoot off your mouth and you want to say things that are generally realized as bigoted and evil. You got to take what comes with it, bro. Be careful about what you find a better way to express your point of view. I don't know what the fuck you think you were doing anyway, with the idea or the mindset that you were you're supreme to everybody else. Who the fuck are you? If you're supreme, why are you laying in morgue right now? Why are you being embalmed today if you're that supreme at 31 years old? My point to that is simply watch your mouth. That's what it's about. There's an old saying, it said, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say anything at all. Maybe some of you guys should get down on that. And finally, yes, I'm going to go here because it's the truth. Donald Trump, right after the assassination, blamed liberals and Democrats for Charlie Kirk's death. With no evidence, no proof, no suspect, nothing. You don't know who the fuck. It could have been Snoopy the dog that killed him for all you knew. But you just made that statement. But I know why you did it, Donald. You wanted to incite your base. You figured you killed two birds with one stone. You'd start that civil war in the United States so you could declare martial law and consolidate power once and for all. And you'd also distract from your own pedophilia because your name is all over those Epstein files. That's why you're calling around having them fight tooth and nail not to release those files. You know your name is on it. You've known it for some time, at least since May. Plus, you were there, Donald. I always wondered, you said Bill Clinton was there 28 times. How would you know unless you were there? Did you pass him in a hall? Maybe you were getting massages from teenagers together? And no, Donald, if Bill Clinton got caught with his drawers down with young kids, fuck him too. He can go to prison right along with you. But this is what you did. And now I'm hearing and seeing videos of these young neo-Nazis talking about white man fight back. Fight back, white man. Who you gonna fight, motherfucker? Because it was one of your own. A 22-year-old kid from a MAGA household who was involved, just like the kid in Colorado, who was into Nick Fuente's, what's that thing, Graper horse shit. Yes. And I'm just loving seeing you old fat men, you couldn't even chase a donut. And you're talking about you're going to go to war and you're going to meet here for training. What are you going to do? Slap each other in the fucking gut? The fuck out of here, fucking gravy seals. Get a grip on manhood and life. Here's the whole situation in a nutshell. Should Charlie Kirk have been shot because he was a racist scumbag? No. Murder's not right, no matter how you put it. Assassination is not right. That's just the truth of the matter. But everything that's happened since then, let me tell you something. No fucking real leader would ever turn American citizens against other American citizens. That's just not how it's done. That's not leadership. When you start to inflict your personal will upon a country, it's time for your ass to go. We're just waiting for that big, beautiful obituary as we speak. Because, Donald, you incited this nonsense. Now you've got your little neo-Nazi MAGA boys out there. You've got Stuart Rhodes, the oath keeper, so-called, old buckshot with the one eye over there that you pardoned from prison. He's talking about getting started again. Mr. Rhodes, I need you and your fellow MAGA so-called militiamen to understand something. Don't think that there aren't liberals or other than GOP Republicans and MAGA Republicans. Don't think that there aren't some folks that are willing to exercise their Second Amendment rights. I'm one of them. I carry every day. And Mr. Rhodes, I'm going to tell you something real quick. If you and your boys decide you want to think I'm open season, bring it, motherfucker, because you're going to get it right back. If I'm going down, I'm going to take all you with me, or as many as I can. That's called self-defense. And if some of you die, then some of you die. And I'm not the only non-MAGA person in this world that recognizes that or holds this attitude. So you better be careful what you ask for. And in the end, the only winner is going to be Donald Trump, not you. See, this is how they got caught up in the deportation thing. The Latinos, the ones that backed Trump and figured, well, if I back Trump, it's not going to happen to me. It sure enough did, didn't it? Now you want to back up and do Trump's bidding again and think that you're going to get exempt because he pardoned you from prison? No, when he declares martial law, that's the line between you and his consolidation of power and his ultimate grift. And when it comes between your interests and his interests win out every single time. And you better recognize that. It's going down like that. Be prepared for it, because it's going to happen. You know, I've tried so many times to preach unity because the enemy here is MAGA and, mainly Donald J. Trump. He's got an influence over MAGA that he shouldn't have, that's making people do things that they normally would not do. It's got to stop here. Instead of trying to threaten liberals and Democrats and so forth, or people of color perhaps, maybe it's time you start doing what you need to do to get away from Donald Trump. An old bigot who's knocking on hell's door as it is. Because no, he's not going to heaven. I don't think so. Jesus said, you can tell them by the fruits they bear. And the only fruits that Donald Trump is born is death, destruction, and chaos. He's destroyed this country and sits there and lies about he's got such a great administration. He didn't even care about Charlie Kirk. They asked him about how he's doing after Charlie Kirk. He says, oh, I'm getting on. Oh, and by the way, you see those trucks over there? They're building the new ballroom. It's going to be a beauty, the greatest you've ever seen. He don't give a damn about Charlie Kirk. And he doesn't give a damn about you. The sooner you wake up and realize it, the better off you're going to be. And that's the bonus reel. My name is Mark Carter Pierce. I am the independent candidate for U.S. Senate from the great state of Pennsylvania in 2028. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one.